Hi everyone. Today we'll be reading part two of the same chapter that we had done yesterday. And you can say that the theme of both the chapters are pretty much same. In the last chapter of the Lencho, we have seen that he also believed in God. And so in this chapter of the Black Aeroplane, we are going to see how a pilot basically saved himself with the help of a surprisingly or random help which was offered to him while he was in the air. So before I start this chapter, we just need to understand few basic things regarding flight. So we all know that whenever we are traveling in an airplane, the pilot obviously runs the mechanism basis on the instruction from the control room. It is never the case that the pilot decides himself, but he operates on the instructions given by the people or the staff which are present in the control room. So here also something similar happens. There is a pilot, he's traveling in a plane, he has a few passengers, he's going back to his home. And in the middle of that process or journey, something happens because of which he has to contact the control room and he loses the touch between the current aeroplane and the control room. And what happens next is that which we are going to study now. So again, I have made a few small table for you to understand. So let's start. The narrator was flying in old Dakota airplane over France back to England around 1:30 p.m. at night. So two, three things that we need to understand here is that he was traveling he was actually using that plane, which was Dakota. Dakota is an old plane. Dakota is nothing but the name of the airline here, and it was a very, very old airplane. He was flying that, and the time was 1:30, and from France, he was coming to England to meet his family members. So the starting point was France, and the end point or the destination was supposed to be England, and the duration at which the plane was flying in the sky was 1:30 p.m. After covering a long distance, he decided to. Okay, I'm so sorry. It's going to be the next one here. Yeah. After covering a long distance, he decided to speak to Paris control and confirm location. Now, from France, he had already started to England. And after a while, he paused around, after an hour or so, and he spoke to the control room to ask what is the exact location because he has already spent few hours. So he wanted to know what was the exact location. He immediately got the response and was told to turn 12 degrees west. Now, as he inquired about the location, he got an immediate response from the control room, and they said that you are fine, you are at the spot, and you need to turn 12 degrees west. So now there was supposed to be a turn. He made sure to check compass, map, and fuel tank. So naturally, when he's in the sky, he has to make sure that the compass, the devices, the map, and the fuel tank all are in place. If any one of them gets ruined, the journey is going to be very difficult. Then he thought he would reach in time and enjoy breakfast with his family. So he said that everything is fine. I have a couple of time to go. I have all the necessary things with me. And once I reach to England, I'll have a good breakfast with my family members. However, he realized that his way ahead were storm clouds and nothing was visible. Now, in the Lencho chapter also, there were hailstorms. And here also, you see that there were some storms, if there was some cloud and the weather was not good, there were some turbulences, and the weather did not seem fine at all. Nothing was visible. He even doubted if he could fly over them. So at once he had this thought that probably he will not be able to cross that because there was so much of bad weather conditions. He doubted that if he risked going to the other side, something unfortunate may take place. Paris was 150 kilometers back and he couldn't afford to waste the fuel. Now he thought of going back to Paris in case the weather ahead is not good. So he decided that he could go back to Paris. But again, now Paris was 150 kilometers away. So going back to Paris would mean ruining the fuel, which he could not afford. So what he decided? He decided to face the storm. He decided that, okay, I'll go and see whatever happens next. Things did not turn as expected. The darkness grew and he lost his contact with the control room. All the devices were dead. Now you see the main trouble started. He did not expect it to be so bad. As he moved ahead, there was a lot of darkness and he lost the control with the contact with the control room also. He kept asking, what is the location? What is the location where I am? But he totally lost the contact with the control room. And not only the control room, all the devices, be the compass, map, everything was devastated, everything was destroyed. When he had almost lost his hope to survive the storm, Now imagine you are at a place, you're flying the plane, and you have no instructions. You don't know the weather conditions. So anybody would have been on his place, he or she would have lost his hope. So he also lost his hope that he will not be able to survive the storm. But as soon as he looks to the other side, he sees that there is a black aeroplane, which is totally of black color, and there is a pilot waving his hand like this and making sure that he follows him. So it was kind of an indication that there is another pilot, another plane in the sky who has come for his help, who has come to rescue him during the time of crisis, and he wanted to make sure that he should follow him. He at once understood that the pilot had come to help. Now, the pilot understood that this plane is of help to me. The pilot followed all instructions as instructed. Now, he followed wherever the black aeroplane went, he followed it. Suddenly, he came out of the clouds and saw two straight lines of light. And within few minutes, he realized that he was already out of the clouds. The sky was bright, and he was in a position to land because he saw that there are two straight lines going in a perfect road. And what was it? It was none other than a runway, which was an airport. He was relieved. He was relieved that finally he has covered that distance. He had faced the storm, and he was really very thankful for the person who was seated in the other airplane who has really helped him. After landing, he went to the control center to get details about the black aeroplane. So as soon as he went downstairs, he landed. He went to the control room immediately and he wanted to ask, like, who's the person who had helped me? I would like to meet him and say thanks. He wanted to thank him for saving during crisis. However, the women responded by saying that there was no other aeroplane on the radar other than Dakota. Now, this came as a huge shock, or you may say surprise to him, when the control room operator said that, sir, we are really sorry, but there was no other plane except yours, which was Dakota. Now, hearing this, he couldn't believe his ears because there was somebody who was on the plane. He had instructed him, he had followed him. So, how come there was nobody? So, maybe this reply left the narrator puzzled out, but soon he realized that it was nothing but help offered by God to him. So again, he realized that it was nothing but a kind of a messenger, a kind of a help sent by God to help him save the situation. I hope you have understood it in a very, very short and precise and crisp way. If you have any doubts, if you want to know the meaning of any word or any sentence or any phrase, you can just drop a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you.